Hey guys. So a month or so ago, I posted a joke video why the Cosmonaut Variety Hour doesn't really understand the Star Wars prequels, and that was actually one of the clips I was going to use for this video. And it was actually just posted just to see whether or not it would have subtitles because that's from that's from his video on the originals, and it doesn't have subtitles, but a lot, but it has more dislikes than likes, so I decided to make it into a full video because I didn't want to make you guys feel cheated. So, what's up, guys? I am the Film Watcher, and today we are going to be talking about why the Cosmonaut Variety Hour doesn't understand the prequels. For real this time. So, a couple of years ago, you may know him as Marcus, made a video on the Star Wars prequels. Actually, he made a video on all three trilogies: the originals, the prequels, and the Disney trilogy. I'm just gonna call it the Disney trilogy because they don't really feel like sequels. They feel like an unnecessary continuation of a story we already had 40 years earlier. So, and in his video, he says that the prequels are not a guilty pleasure for him because he feels no pleasure while watching them and only guilt. And now this is perfectly okay. Preference is fine. Like, I dislike movies liked by the majority, um, and I like movies that are disliked by the majority. Yeah, preference is perfectly fine. But he seems to think that how movies are in his mind is how they are, as how they actually are, and the clip from my first video, which I'm gonna play now, encapsulates this perfectly.
So did George follow up with a faithful continuation to the franchise? No, he fucking shit all over it. These movies are bad. They're awful. And for some reason, this is now some kind of hot take. I feel like I'm living in an alternate dimension because people are actually trying to tell me these movies are good now. You have to literally be brainwashed in order to like them. The only people who like them are either children or people who watch them as children. And unfortunately, these children grew up into people with very strong opinions. And they want you to think these movies are secretly art. Well, they aren't. They suck. They're bad movies, and I do not want to watch them again.
But it gets worse. This is just to highlight his level of critical intelligence. It has nothing to do with the video whatsoever. Um, but 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 Marcus seems to question why politicians speak in a formal manner. I'm not kidding. Like, he's wondering why literal noblemen speak in a formal manner. Like, what? Just I'm just gonna roll the clip so you'll get what I'm saying.
Everybody kind of talks the same, and it's really awkward. Like, who the fuck talks like this?
This is incredible. We recommend a commission be sent to Naboo to ascertain the truth.
The Congress of Malastare concurs with the honorable delegate from the Trade Federation.
When you start the movie, you might think that the Jedi just talk in this weird, overly wordy way because they're like warrior monks. I kind of accept the fact that they talk weird. But everybody fucking talks like this, except the Jamaican and the literal child.
Hey Marcus, I'm just throwing this idea out there, but maybe politicians and Jedi speak in a formal manner because they're not like you. Oh man. But I know it seems like I'm speeding through this here, I but I actually want to get to the meat of this video. So let me get into this. Marcus doesn't understand the subtle themes of these movies, and instead just focuses on the admittedly poor execution of those themes. Like, the entire reason the Jedi fall is because they strayed away from their code to fight in the war. But then he says shit like this that proves he just doesn't get it at all.
This is by far what I consider to be the biggest problem with these movies. This problem is at the core of what I hate about the prequels. And that problem is Yoda. It absolutely blows my mind that people don't have a bigger problem with Yoda in this trilogy. Because if you ask me, this is blatant character assassination. Seeing Yoda with a lightsaber fills me with so much dread, and honestly, I can't explain it. Remember when I praised the scene from Empire where he has this beautiful speech about the Force? Well, all of that understanding and wisdom is gone in these movies. Yoda never makes a single good decision in these movies, and it's because he always says, "Oh, the dark side is clouding my judgment." Come the fuck on, man. I need real plot elements because this shit isn't working.
Okay, I will admit the dark side is clouding my judgment thing is kind of stupid, and I think it would have made more sense to just, have him to just have him straying away from the code on his own. But dude, that scene in Empire was literally like 25 years later. That was exactly 25 years later. That was him if you ask me, that was him having learned from the mistakes he made in the Clone Wars. Like, you are aware of what prequel means, right? It means something that happened before what it's based on. Like, it's not like the speech he made in Empire took place before Attack of the Clones. It was literally 25 years later. Like, I don't get how you're not seeing this. So, but sorry, I actually cut you off in the middle of the clip, so please continue.
I should never see Yoda directing troops of soldiers. I should never hear Yoda say these words.
Concentrate all your fire on the nearest starship.
Seeing Yoda doing ninja flips is just so upsetting for me, and maybe this is why I like that Luke dies without hitting anybody with a lightsaber. I have my problems with The Last Jedi, but this is how a Jedi should operate in my mind. I love that once Luke arrives on the scene, nobody else dies for the rest of the movie except for him. A Jedi should work hardest to find a solution without resorting to violence. In Episode 3, when Obi-Wan begs Yoda and says, "Please, Yoda, don't make me kill Anakin," Yoda says, "Sorry, bro. You gotta do what you gotta do." In these movies, Yoda's number one solution is to kill the bad guys. He never at any point tries to negotiate. He always goes in, guns blazing. This isn't Yoda. This isn't how Jedi are supposed to work. There's zero nuance and zero subtlety.
All right. First, this is making it. This sounds like you think The Last Jedi is bad when we all know you think it's actually misunderstood, and I think that opinion is really shit because I think it's the worst Star Wars movie, and a lot of other people will back me up on this. Although that scene was pretty cool, I will admit. And second, if you think the point of this trilogy was to show the Jedi at their best, you're wrong. The whole point of this trilogy was to show how Darth Vader was born. Here in this clip that I have here, it shows that you don't understand that the Jedi's poor handling of Anakin was what caused him to become Darth Vader, because Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon were stubborn enough to break the rules to try and train them themselves.
In this movie, information is conveyed in a very strange and vague way. Take, for example, the scene where Anakin is being interviewed by the Jedi Council. They ask him some random questions, and then they say, "Sorry, he's evil, we cannot train him." They say they sense fear in Anakin, and that is the main reason why he's not to be trained. So you're telling me you expect the kid to just not be scared at all? Wouldn't it make more sense to train someone to be less fearful than to just expect them to have the emotions of a Jedi once they get here? They know he's strong in the Force, but they still tell Qui-Gon that he can't train him. But what's the alternative? Just send him back home and hope he doesn't harness his inherent Force powers? And Qui-Gon just says, "Oh, I'm just going to train him anyway." You're just allowed to do that? You can just do whatever you want? If you can do that, then why does anybody ask for permission?
Now, this is totally up to personal preference, and your mileage may vary, but Marcus thinks Revenge of the Sith is bad. Revenge of the Sith, one of the best Star Wars movies, probably only outclassed by the first two originals. Yeah, he thinks I'm just salty he gave the movie a 5 out of 10. So, yeah, I have no particular I don't really hold anything against him. I'm just biased and I love the movie.
5 out of 10, an improvement, but not enough of an improvement.
An improvement? Yeah, I will agree that this movie is definitely an improvement over the admittedly mediocre first two prequels, and you could even make a case for Attack of the Clones being run of the mill bad. But I feel like since we're at your Revenge of the Sith part of the review, we'll go into the final reason why I decided to make this video. You don't understand gray morality. Like, if you think this is an improvement, you wouldn't say this shit.
Title crawl tells us that there are heroes on both sides. Evil is everywhere. What the fuck does that mean? There aren't any heroes on the evil side. George, you need to proofread your work.
So yeah, if I didn't agree with this man's Amazing Spider-Man review, and if it wasn't his most popular video, I wouldn't be subscribed to him. The Cosmonaut picture shows are funny, but I don't need to be subscribed to. But I don't need to be subscribed to tune into them. I mean, they are funny, but it's not like I need to be subscribed for them. Like, I agree with one opinion this man has. His Amazing Spider-Man video has 12 million views, and if it only had like a couple million, he would just be in the wind. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, he is demonstrating one of the most obvious lacks of critical intelligence that you could possibly display. He just thinks how movies are in his mind or how they actually are. Like, there aren't any heroes on the evil side. Like, what? I'm gonna bring up a totally different video here, but in your Transformers 1 video, for your Cosmonaut picture show, you say that, like, you guys say that like you ask why Decepticons are fine with identifying themselves as Decepticons when it's clearly a very evil and negative word.
Is there an in-canon reason that the Decepticons are happy with identifying themselves as Decepticons, which is clearly a very negative word? Like, how do you truly believe in your cause and be like, we are Decepticons?
We are the clan of murder liars. We believe our cause is just.
Alright, so this is probably going to be the end of the video, because I just want to keep this as brief as possible. And I didn't even mention all the other reasons why he doesn't understand the prequels either. He claims he's a Star Wars purist, but to me he just seems more like the frat bro who watches the movies. Like, I'm convinced that he admits in this review that he hasn't watched Phantom Menace all the way through, besides just quoting the funny lines with his friends, in 20 years. So, wouldn't it make more sense to watch the movie to better articulate your thoughts on it? Because you say it's the most boring one, but that's no excuse. Like, I still watched Fan4stick for my review months ago, and I complained several times about having to sit through it, but I still sat through it. I can't understand you. You don't make sense to me. Just watch the video. Put on the big boy pants and watch the movie. I'm just gonna cap off the video right here because I'm just gonna devolve into mindless rant territory, even though this is a rant video. So I'm just gonna say to all you 1.14 million people subscribed to Cosmonaut Variety Hour, maybe you should rethink what you're doing a little. Like, if you're subscribed to him because you think he's funny, like, I respect that. But I can't respect that you actually respect this man's critical opinion, because he displays several times in this video that it's for shit.